Hey, can y'all hear me now? Because again, we playing with the mute button. We back again, y'all, for our last speaker chat. And I'm super excited because two of my OGs is hanging with me tonight. Like for real, for real. Okay. So let me introduce my twin, Dr. Taj.
Hey.
Y'all will explain later why we say we twins. Okay. And my girl Tiff, who gets us all the way together. Like all the way together. So thank you, ladies. Yes, yes. I
Yes,
can't wait to see y'all in
Yes.
person,
I
in the
know.
flesh.
Long time coming.
I know, like
Four,
in the
four or five
flesh.
years now. 5 years. This year, five, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
definitely. So I'm excited I get to see y'all. So let's kick this thing off. Dr. Taj, tell people who you are and what you do.
Evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Taj. I'm an occupational therapist by trade, and have spent my entire OT career in the mental health space, working with individuals across the lifespan, sort of helping them do life as independently as possible, um, with resources, tools, and strategies. Did I answer all
And
your questions?
yes, you did.
Okay.
And the best at it.
I'm trying to
Okay.
behave.
I
I'm trying
can
to
be
behave.
biased. Yeah, she don't act right, y'all. So it's okay though. Tiffany, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm not gonna behave because it's Friday Junior, and I don't see clients on tomorrow, so I'm off but on. So
I
my
needed
name
this.
is
I needed
Tiffany
that. I
Taylor.
needed that. I needed that.
My name is Tiffany Taylor, and I'm professionally I am a licensed clinical social worker in the peachy state of Georgia on the South Side. And while I work and am trained in mental health, my specialty is sex therapy. So I am a sex therapist, a pleasure and intimacy coach. I help you get out of your mind and into your body so that you can enjoy and engage in pleasure because pleasure is personal. Yes. And
Yes.
self care is sexy, all the things. Yes. I'm gonna be quiet till you ask me a question.
No, because it's so true that you just don't do right in those areas, which we gonna talk about. So
Yes.
you both are speakers. And I love that. I have to push my twin out of her comfort zone sometimes. And she's an amazing speaker. So
Yes.
Thank you.
yes, she's great. So one of your specialties is trauma. And we're gonna talk about that all throughout this weekend that we have together. But what does trauma look like for women of color, or specifically Black women who are in leadership roles?
Um, it sort of falls in line with our superwoman dealings, right? And so we walk through life and it's I got it, no problem. It's all together. Sure, no problem. You need me to do this? Got it. You need me over here? Got it. Like we're literally scattered in 1,000 places.
Mhm.
And then we tend to sort of over complicate things by not asking for help and um, not seeing that it's a problem, right? You're always on go,
Right.
and you're hyper vigilant to things. Some people sort of set us up, not set us up, set us up is the wrong word that I don't want to use, but they tend to sort of see us as aggressive, right? When we're
Mm.
passionate about something. They tend to see us as gruff when it's, I don't have time to mince words. I don't live in a world of puppy dogs and rainbows. You're going to get it how I got it, and it's coming out. So take it, right? And so that oftentimes is sort of plays to, oh, she's, the angry Black woman in the
Yeah.
space. She's
Yeah.
unapproachable. Um, where we can't people feel like they can't approach us because we're not all smiles and grins all the time, right? A lot of times
Mhm.
I may have something on my mind. I may not necessarily feel like grinning
Right.
at the moment. I may have a headache. It could be a ton of different things.
Right.
So trauma for us is a masking. Trauma for them is a lot of different things. And when I say them, it's everybody outside of the space of a Black woman.
Right. Right. Ooh, you hit on some key points. Tiff, I'll go to you because you help us with the sexy side of it. A lot of times we don't ask for help when it comes to stuff like that because we think we should know it and we have it all together. For some reason, we feel like we just got it together. What are some things that you've seen in your industry, like just in your field, with us as Black leaders?
So I'm gonna piggyback off my good sis over here. So as women of color, we try to be all the things. So when I think about when it comes to sex and intimacy,
Mm.
we can't be all the things because first of all, we didn't get any education about it. We weren't always
Right.
properly taught about our bodies. And
Right.
oftentimes when we get into relationships or situationships or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
when it's time to engage, we tend to succumb to this thing of enduring, right? And that sex is not for our pleasure, that it's for the other person. We live in a very patriarchal society where from the time that we are small, it's like our 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 bodies and sex and all this is like it's for the other person. And but I'm so happy because like things are changing, right? Like the climate is changing. And more women, especially women of color, like we're tapping into our bodies, getting to know our bodies and demanding like
Right.
we deserve pleasure. We experience all the other emotions.
Right.
Why we deserve pleasure? Can I have some pleasure, please, with a capital P?
Right. And sometimes, and you're right, we are getting better. Sometimes we're afraid to say that because we don't want to hurt the other person's feelings or we don't want to lose them. And it's like, so you're gonna just be sexually miserable like
Because
forever.
enduring is long suffering. I don't want to
Right.
long suffer. I think our ancestors did that enough for us. Like, can we not do that?
Like, can
I
we
don't
not?
want to suffer. Yes.
Like,
I don't
right.
want to.
Can I get some pleasure somewhere in here because I shouldn't have to endure in a relationship situation, like whatever I'm choosing to be in. There
Right.
should not be this case where it's like, oh, come on.
Mm-hmm.
like,
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 get it
let's
so I
get
can
it
go to
over with.
sleep.
Right. Doing
Mm-mm.
y'all too spicy. Both of y'all together. Spicy,
No, ma'am.
spicy, spicy. So, Tiffany, let's talk about how sometimes we show up as Black leaders, not just, sexually or physically, but to our peers, to our counterparts as well. How does the showing up, and you use the good word, the long suffering or the enduring of things, how does showing up like that affect us and our leadership?
I think it dims our light. It doesn't allow us to be authentic. I've had the pleasure of presenting the last few months with one of my colleagues, and we are both vertically challenged, but very cute and women of color, right? And I was just like so impressed as well. You know, I try to always be myself as well, but like sis was like on it. And well, I mean, I think we both got a lot of compliments about just being able to be ourselves. Like, I know that in some spaces we have to, speak properly or,
Right.
placate to certain things. But it is just when you're able to just be yourself and be authentic to who you are, it resonates more with people. And that's why I love that you have allowed me to come on this platform. And I'm like, I always kind of get nervous sometimes because although we all doing it, people don't like to talk about it. And so, I'm always forever going to be grateful and going to show up for you because you're like, girl, do you?
Please.
And so that allows me to, just be, well, one, walk in confidence, right? And I don't have to like feel like I'm trying to be something else or like watch my words, but I can just be me. And that always resonates more with people when you are able to be authentic, even as a leader. Like people need to know that you are a person, that you go through things as well. Now I'm going to show you, I go through things, but I'm also going to show you how I'm going to keep on pushing through it as well.
Exactly. I love that you said that. For one, I always want you to show up like that. Funny story was we were going through like topics and Tiff was like, "Can I call you?" And I was like, "Good," because I was about to hit you up because I was like, "This topic do not fit what I know you do." And I was like, "Well, maybe, she's just maybe she don't want to be as disruptive anymore." Like,
oh no, yes.
Tiff was like, "No, ma'am." Can I come up with please come up with your own title, baby? Because
yes.
I can't have you being like that. Like I want you to be yourself, but I love that you say that. And I think too of the moments where I've been very vulnerable, like publicly, where the shame shows up, it's helped somebody else. But people saw me not as weak, but as a leader because I was able to share those parts of me that were difficult at that time, like what was hard for me at that time. So I'm really glad that you shared that piece with us. Dr. Taj, when we think about not being authentic, like, isn't that almost a trauma response? Or can be?
It is, right? Because it's almost like one of those automatic reflexes, right? You just sort of pop on into autopilot, and that autopilot is the way you react and the way you do things and how you operate. And you have to the new push or the new trigger, the new phrase is sort of trauma based work, right? And so a lot of that is unlearning the stuff that you've sort of automatically learned as a reflex. I like to sort of think of it and sort of work through it as a reflex. Like it's something that you just automatically do without thinking about. And you just have to unlearn it with different tools and strategies. And being uncomfortable in those spaces and in those moments, right? It's feeling the feels, because a lot of times we don't like to feel the feels. Like if I can just avoid that feeling, if I could just avoid that moment, then I'm gonna do it, right? If I could just pack it up in a cute little box, put it over in the corner and keep it going, then so be it. But no, we gotta get that box out the corner, open it up, deal with all the stuff and feel the feels, and so that you're not sort of constantly in that same wheel and in that same space.
Right. Oh my gosh, like that. It's a question I'm asking, but I never even really thought like how our trauma causes us to do the things that we still do, knowing that they're detrimental, knowing that they're hurtful, knowing that they're not good for us, but we'd rather that than to refocus and do something else.
Right. Because it's easy. There's work in the other stuff. We don't, a lot of times that trauma stuff requires work. And who wants to do that? I got too much on my plate. I don't want to do the other work. Like, I got something else on that good plate. No, I don't want it. Pass it along. Like, I don't want it. Right. But you have to though. And that's the reality. You have to in order to do it different. Like it can't just be this is the way I am, because that happens a lot too. We hear that a lot. But
oh yes,
You got it. You can't. That can't be your excuse. That shouldn't be your
Yeah.
excuse.
Right. I know for me, y'all know I joke about having a therapist that I fire like every week. And I will tell you, I will tell you that those are one of the things that he says. We talked last night about why being one of the most critical questions you could ever ask someone. And I remember one of my, like, it was either my first or second session, and everything I said, he was like, why? And I was getting very aggravated. Like, why do you keep asking me why? Like, I'm telling you. And it was like, he's like, I'm showing you how to unlearn something, because apparently in the past it's been okay to other people for you to just pass them off, like just say whatever, and that's good, okay. But to me, you're not gonna get well until we dive deep. And I was like, but now you're in my business, and now like, it was just funny because
like, ma'am, you pay me to be in your business. Like, you pay me to be in your business. No, I'm not supposed to be in your business. Like, doesn't make sense. Like, you pay me.
It was like, why you keep showing up every week? I say, why you keep acting like this? Like, why you keep asking me these questions? But that's right. That's work that we don't want to do, but we don't want to feel, like you say, the feels. Like, come on. Yeah. It's one or the other.
Yep.
It's one or the other. We have to look at growth. I'll ask you, I'll start with you, Tiffany. Do you think over the past years, let's just start at COVID, because I don't know nothing before COVID. I can't remember nothing.
COVID took us through it.
All I know is it was 2019 going into 2020. It was good, and then it wasn't. So that's all I can remember. Right. But in the past year, 4 years or so, do you feel like there have been significant improvements in how Black leadership, specifically women, are seen, or how we handle being leaders?
I don't know if I can say significant. I think there's definitely been change. I think there's definitely been opportunities. I'm gonna take that back. I am gonna say significant, because we got our first woman of color, a Black woman, in the White House, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna take that back. But there's still so much work to do.
Sure.
I still feel like there is so many times where we have our voices silenced, where we're not protected, we're not our bodies, our Black bodies are not thought of, they're not protected. And so there's still so much work to do. I think there is more consideration for us, but there's still like so much work to do. Definitely.
Right. Dr. Taj, I'm gonna throw that over to you, because I know you and I have had extensive conversations, and I've joked like, oh yeah, we were discovered in 2020. Because you notice we got a lot more like opportunities. People wanted to work with Black creators and all these different things.
But can we acknowledge that we have the sauce though? This is why you're wanting to
always had it. Yes.
And you acknowledge that we have the sauce, and you want it to come over here because y'all's was looking dry. Okay, fine. Now that you've addressed that, right?
That's my friend, y'all. That's my friend.
I think a large part of it is, yes, right? They've acknowledged us. I think we still have a ways to go. Because there's not, you can't say it, we can no longer say it's affirmative action, right? So now we've leaned heavy into DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. We've leaned heavily into that. And now it's sort of like still the side eye, but not, not too much, because you need something from us.
Right.
And then it it sort of plays a lot on us still having to work 10 times harder,
Right.
to still do, in some instances, feel the need to do a tap dance to sort of show our strengths and why we should be at this table. We
Right.
still get questioned. It's those things, those nuances that aren't going anywhere. Like you're doing it for the DEI, right? But it's there's still other things that still get sort of, the shade is still there. The shade is definitely still there.
Yes, like heavily. So the nonprofit that I work in is Supply Diversity Procurement. We help women-owned businesses get certified for the WBENC certification. And one of the main things we do is we put people in the room with the corporates. We actually try to give them a leg up to be able to leverage these relationships that they're supposed to be building. And I noticed, not necessarily with us, because I feel like we do a really good job at it because we're only dealing, say for instance, with women. I find that now with affirmative action being shot down, that it's harder to fake the funk now because you don't have to. You ain't got to.
Right.
They told us they don't care, about any of those things. But I think what people miss out on, they knew it would affect us. They didn't know it was going to affect them too, because white women are minority. Well,
for sure.
And so now it's affecting their households, because not only potentially we could not get these opportunities. Now their wives could potentially not get these opportunities as well.
And you almost want to ask that question. So how's that working out for you? You know what I mean? So how's that working out for you?
Right.
Wait.
I love that therapeutic question. Yes.
So how's that working out for you?
Yes.
That's true. That's true. That's so true. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is good conversation. I love this. So when you think about the spaces that we have to show up in as leaders, whether you are an entrepreneur and you're trying to network and get your business out there, or whether you are a Black woman in C-suite and you have to show up in spaces. Dr. Taj, that within itself could be trauma responses. You and I have joked plenty of times, and not really joke, but we've said like whatever those triggers may be could show up when you in that room with these people. What would you say to new Black leaders? Because Taj and Tiff, I don't feel like we are grooming. We OGs, like the ones who've been in it, I don't feel like we grooming them well. And it could be because we tired. It just could be because we're tired too. What would you say to a new Black entrepreneur or a new woman that's in the C-suite?
I mean, to our credit, I don't think we're tired. They're just coming up with new ways to throw the shade. You know what I mean? And we're just a few steps removed because we're in different spaces. And our skin has become a little thicker. I think the one thing so if I had to say to my young self going into these spaces, I'm going to apologize now. My dog just hopped into her crate, so there may just be a whole bunch of noise. Anyway, I'm quite sure y'all see that. I think the one thing I would say to my younger self stepping into these spaces, find your group or person at the job that you can have. Because I used to have Black girl caucuses in my office. Like whenever somebody went to a meeting, there would be 3 of us in that office behind closed doors debriefing, because you need it. Because the way that you may have seen something, the way that they may have seen something, how they talk you through things, how you talk them through things, it worked. It sustained me. being okay with not being okay, I would also tell my younger self, because you would always have to put on this mask in this front
Yes.
and keep it going, right?
Yes.
No, I'm gonna have a moment. I'm gonna have a moment, and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna have to step outside this degree, put these letters aside, and call y'all to the good table, because I did it once. I'll share it if you want me to, but like it, because you have to, because it almost sort of makes me think about the bully that keeps messing with you, and until you
Yes.
two-piece them upside their head, then they leave you alone, right? Because they didn't got the message. That's
Right.
what it takes. So you got to take it there one time, show them what it is, and then they'll correct themselves moving forward.
Right.
And be okay with that happening. Why? Because they're testing you. They keep poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear. And when that bear goes smooth off, then you want to play the victim. That's what you're not about to do.
Right.
You brought me here, so I have to explain it to you. And I think if my younger self knew that, I would save myself a lot of tears and a lot of stress, because I would personalize it so much driving home. Like maybe this ain't the job for me. Maybe I could have did this a different way. Like questioning a lot of the stuff that I said and did and how I operated in those spaces. Now,
right.
Excuse me, what was that? No, I said what I said. I'm not changing that. I'm not taking that back. Oh, you felt away? I'm sorry you felt away, but no, I meant what I meant. I said what I said.
Right.
And not batting an eyelash about it, not thinking twice.
Right. Yeah, we gotta show up like that though. For real. It's like a fight every day for your life.
Right.
Tiffany, what you think?
Has to fight.
What?
That, absolutely that. Yes.
Yes.
I would just add, you gotta know your shit. Like whatever field that you're in, you gotta put the work in. You gotta, because they're gonna be coming after you. And if you can't be afraid to ask why or to ask questions, because you're not gonna learn, you're not gonna know your shit if you don't ask the questions, right? And then also I would ask you have to give yourself grace, because you don't know everything as well. And so there are gonna be times you're going to make mistakes. You're going to, because a lot of times, because we know we are working from below the curve, right? Like we go hard. We go hard. We don't always do a good job of balancing work-life balance. So it becomes almost like you're living it all the time. Like you can't sleep. You're talking about it all the time because you know that you have to work that much harder. And so even when you put in the work, sometimes you're going to fall short, and that's going to happen. And you cannot stay in a space where you're beating yourself up. You have to give yourself grace, and you have to practice self-care.
Yes.
You have to practice self-care.
Yes.
Because as we know, like Black women, we have some of the highest rates when it comes to health, our health, right? Like diabetes, heart disease, cancer. And so all of these things are our lifestyle. Stress is a contributor to all of those things. And I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to lose my life over somebody else's job, or even my own, being an entrepreneur, right? So I have to take care of me. It's only me.
Right.
That's so true. You bring up a phrase that we hear a lot. We actually have a panel on it, that talks about imposter syndrome. And I feel like sometimes we don't term it that. We just beat ourselves down. We say all these negative things about ourselves. Although we've seen certain levels of success, we still feel like, oh, well, I'm an imposter. But like you just said, we don't know everything. You only know what you know. And when you don't know, then that's when you have to be very unapologetic and bold and ask questions. Because I will ask it, I'll be like, why? And if it's spaces where it's other people, and I feel like I'm the only one that may be getting like some grunt work or something, or I'm the only one that may not be getting equal treatment, then I'm gonna call it out. Like big time. Like I'm gonna call it out because I feel like we don't do that enough in these spaces. And again, there's a way you do it. There's a way you do it.
Absolutely.
Like you said, times like I'm sorry you feel this way, but this is what I've experienced.
Because your feelings are your feelings, right? They can't negate those. You can't tell me. You can't tell me what I felt. Right. I can share with you what your actions, how your actions made me feel, but you can't negate my feelings.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh. Y'all, this good. It's good. So Tiff, let's talk. We're gonna talk sexuality. Taj, I'm coming to you next because after Tiff get them all ready. You see?
That's Tiff's thing. I'm not.
No, because I know, but I'm just saying sometimes the trauma causes you not to be able to function how you need to function in those spaces. So I reframe it for you, friend. I reframe it for you.
Thank you.
So
I know my scope. I know my lane.
Like I know this is my box. Don't put me in nobody else's box. I got you, friend. I'm gonna reshape it for you. A lot of times as women leaders, we don't have the time to take care of ourselves or other people. But I think it starts with self first. So what are some of the things that you see in your practice with us feeling like, oh, something's wrong with me when it's really, like you say, the self-care piece? Like, what are some things that come up that for us as leaders?
Is this my question?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So definitely I feel like we, as a leader, we tend to neglect ourselves oftentimes. I was having this conversation, I think today, it's all running together, with one of my clients about boundaries, right? And how our thought process is like, we create boundaries to keep other people out. But no, really, boundaries is for us. Boundaries, one, helps us to identify like our needs, wants, and desires. And so when I've identified what my boundaries are, then I am going to be able to communicate to you what I need, want, and desire, and what's a no-go for me. It's not necessarily to keep other people out. It's really for me, because people are going to they're going to infiltrate as long as you let them. But once I've identified what works for me, then I can communicate that to you and I can set those standards. And it teaches people how you want to be treated. Our boundaries are a reflection of how we want to be treated. If I don't care about, how other people treat me, then I don't have boundaries. So, that's one thing. And then I also think it's really important to validate yourself. Oftentimes we look for validation in other people and affirming from other people, whether it's our partner, whether it's our boss, whether it's our clients, whatever, social media. But everything starts with us. It starts within, like, because someone can tell you all day, like, you're really pretty, or you're really sexy, or you're really whatever, right? But until I believe it about myself, what you said is going in one ear and out the other. So I would say those two things are definitely important.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about that with the boundaries, and that's what I'm gonna toss to you, Taj, is I never even really thought about boundaries as like for me mostly. It's all because we're taught or we hear like you got to put these boundaries in place so folks won't play with you. But you play with you every time you let somebody cross that line. Like you play with you when you do that. So, Taj, how do boundaries play a part in trauma responses, or do they?
I mean, I think they help the unlearning process, the retraining process. But if learned the wrong way, they help to continue the trauma responses, if that makes sense. So like, so catchphrases, right? Like, I'm gonna set my boundaries. This is a boundary thing, right? So if they're using it constantly as a common term that the individual uses, then they're using it the wrong way, right? To avoid a lot of stuff. And so then it becomes a negative, right? And it's not being used for the purpose that it was originally designed for lack of better words. So it's first making sure the person understands what a boundary is, right? And just as Sis Tiff sort of explained it, the needs, the wants, desires, right? So understanding those concrete phases and terms related to boundaries, and not overusing it or using it incorrectly to sort of work as a protective mechanism,
right?
To keep the trauma responses in place,
right? Oh my gosh, y'all be dropping them gems. So let's talk about buzzwords and words that we tend to just misuse. We talked about that on the session with Dr. Van, and you two both practice. Yeah, she's amazing. You two both have practices where you have people who either do something because they were triggered, or they don't do something because they were triggered. So we said trigger was a word, and then narcissist was like another word.
That needs to go to
gaslighting.
Y'all,
gaslighting.
Can we just stay there for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Have we, the people who work in this field, have we given permission to folks to do that? Like, do we say it too much to where now they say it? Is it our fault that we haven't educated them on what those words actually mean? Or like, cause y'all, we gotta own it if it's us, for real though. Like, I'm serious. Cause you hear it all the time. I literally had someone say that to a friend of mine, where she was telling her something she did bothered her, and she didn't like it, and she said, "Well, you're not gonna gaslight me." What?
But it's so funny. I blame COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I blame COVID. I mean, in some ways, like, everybody had all this time, and they were reading and like TikTok and all these things, and people were making these videos. And I mean, that's great, right? I feel like it definitely brought awareness, but everybody is not a narcissist. Now, do people have narcissistic behaviors? Yes, but everybody is not a narcissist. I feel like I have to break this down at least once a month, like with clients, right? Because they're like coming in and they're like, my partner's a narcissist. Because narcissism is actually a diagnosis, right? In our DSM-5. And like, no, this person does not meet all this criteria, right, of this personality disorder. But do they have some narcissistic behaviors? Quite possibly. So stop telling people that they're narcissists. They're not. They probably have narcissistic behavior, and everybody is not gaslighting you. And you're not always triggered.
You know what I've started to do? Well, I can't say start. I've always done this. When I feel like a client is using the word out of the context and doesn't fully understand it, I'll just so can you put that in a sentence for me? Like, put it in a sentence so that I can have an understanding of what you're saying. And they look at me. No, I'm serious. I want to understand it. So like, how did you get there?
Mhm.
And so 99.9% of the time, the sentence is wrong. They don't have a clear understanding. And then I have to work them back. And then they'll go, oh, maybe it wasn't gaslighting. Nope, it wasn't. It was just somebody telling you about yourself. You were in
Right.
your feels and you use that as your trigger. Because that
Mhm.
really wasn't a trigger. It's just you heard something you didn't want to hear. Because you've lived in a world of puppy dogs and rainbows where everything was all fluffy, nice, and smooth. No, that's not how this works.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall. I know it's against the law.
We're
I
out
would
in
love
the
to be
community.
a fly on the wall with y'all
We're
too.
out in the community. We grocery shopping. Real quick story. So this happened earlier this week, and this is why I'm like tired. So, working on like social skills in the community, blah blah blah. We're in the grocery store trying to go through their budget and learn how to stretch their dollar. Okay, fine. So we get home. We're processing things, talking about it. Later this week, client emails and was like, so Dr. Tata, I just want to debrief. I feel like the person over in the aisle next to us, and mind you, I don't even think that there was anybody in the ice cream aisle, but okay, fine, whatever. Was talking about me, and that's why I was distracted, and I really couldn't focus on what you were asking me to do. So I feel like I was triggered. Can we go to the grocery store again?
What?
Did you get all your groceries for the week? Yes. Okay, we're good. We're good. We'll learn a different skill next time we go to the grocery store. But we're not learning that skill again because you learned it. I want to see how you apply it now.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I literally cannot breathe right now.
I felt triggered. How, Sway? There was nobody in the ice cream aisle. Did Briars yell through the glass? Like, who was it? Hood? Like, what was it?
It was Briars and Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs, right. Ben and Jerry. Okay, they could have yelled through the glass at you. Like, I don't.
Right. Ben and Jerry.
Right, Ben and Jerry. Those are the only two people that could have possibly yelled through that glass onto the next time.
Wait a minute. So
they're known for that.
Right.
And the thing is, the way you responded, Dr. Taj, is genius because sometimes people like fall into that. They'll be like, well, what do you think they were saying? Or what, you know what I'm saying? Like they feed into, like, I think people don't realize when they ask questions like that, they really feeding into the foolish. Let me not say foolishness. They really be feeding into that type of behavior because ain't nobody over there.
Foolishness. You said it.
Sound like foolishness.
It is foolishness. It is foolishness. But sing temperature, yes, it's foolishness.
It's foolishness.
You want me to debrief with you and go back to where somebody was talking to you and you was triggered. No, thank you.
That wasn't really talking to you.
My hat goes off to y'all because sometimes I wonder what my therapist feels like when our sessions are over. I have a different level of respect for him now because sometimes I ain't gonna say nobody was talking to me over on the other aisle. And I do try to use the words correctly, but I do find myself like trying to justify like why. Because he asked me why. I'm finna say why.
Because you're trying to predict what he's gonna say next. Because you know historically he asked you why.
Mm-hmm.
Just answer why.
I'm gonna beat him to it. Yeah, but I'm gonna let him earn his money though. I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna let him earn his money because he probably
when I know I took my therapist. When I know I took my therapist through it, I really took her through it. So I just give her a little bit extra money that week.
Oh, I start the session like, today's gonna be a heavy day. You want me to just swing back out and go get some Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts?
Right, yes.
Like, because we're about to get into this good here thing. I've had a week.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So yeah, we can blame COVID. Because I do feel like, you know, people did have, they read it, but did they understand it? Because you still, you know, like we see those funny videos where it's like the teacher says, use Alaska in the word, oh, so-and-so, but Alaska. You know, like that is not how you use that word, ma'am, sir. You know, I mean, it's like they read it, but did you understand what you was reading? Now you around here talking about everybody triggering you. You are always feeling like someone's gaslighting you. Do y'all feel like it's an avoidance of accountability and responsibility?
Accountability doesn't exist. Accountability doesn't exist. So no one has to feel okay. So, and I blame this on we could go back to the intramural extracurricular, like the Pop Warners and all those other sports.
Yeah.
Everybody gets an award. There is no first place, second place, third place. Everybody gets an award, right?
Yes.
So when you grow to an adult and you don't get what you expect.
Come on, yes, I like this.
You throw temper tantrums. So now we have full-blown adults that are throwing temper tantrums because they didn't get what they expect. Right. And you have to have that good come to Jesus meeting with them. Like, come on in the office. Let's have a seat. Let's talk about why you didn't get what you didn't get because you didn't earn it. That's not how it works.
But I showed up. What you mean?
I need more than showing up. I need you to do more than show up.
What?
So those are the things that the folk aren't understanding. And I think COVID made it worse. On top of the fact, out of COVID, a lot of people became podcasters. A lot of people became I mean, the list can go on if you want.
I was gonna say, and people just got SBA loans or whatever because they said they had a business, but you know, them folks want that money back, or you gonna show some stuff that you didn't did.
So
they're gonna be triggered.
There's gonna be some furniture moving. Right. Figure out where them people's money was at.
Right. What a profit and loss statement. What?
Right.
Some of them don't even know what it is. And that's the thing too. Like, you know, I feel like a lot of businesses were birthed.
Now you know
I'm saying that y'all see I ain't looking at y'all when I say it.
Right. I need you to take a drink of water, something. What you got on the desk there? Because you need a break, sis. Turn the camera off for a second, come back. Okay.
I'm good.
Mine is in the freezer waiting. I waited.
I feel like COVID, you know, it helped some of us. You know, for me, that's when I saw my greatest success. I met most of y'all, you know, like, but it was work. It was a lot of work that I put in, and I feel like COVID, like, really, in a sense, made things so easy. Because again, they started handing stuff to us, you know, because they had just seen a murder on live TV, you know, like they had just seen a murder live, and it was like, oh, that was happening. Oh my gosh, and it's like years. Where y'all been? Right. It's been happening. Like, you know, like it's been happening. And then we had, you know, a really great administration who was running the country at this time. I mean, it was just a total, you know what, show, because I know Instagram would shut me down. Yes. However, I just feel like there's unlearning now that you talk about, Dr. Todd. Like there's unlearning that is occurring now in 2024 when you deal with people in leadership on both sides there's a lot of unlearning because I feel like during COVID, we really were like pampered. Some people really were like just pampered, just coddled. And now your boss like, I really see I could do it without you. I could really get AI to write this to some degree. I don't really need.
That's the part.
That's a whole nother, yeah.
That's the part that people don't understand. Like you get too comfortable with these at-home positions, folks are gonna realize that their bottom line is a lot lighter.
Right. Exactly.
Put more in their pocket.
They get mad because they told you to come back to work, to the office.
Right. They did. Yes. I heard one girl, she was talking on something. She said that that's when she started going to see a therapist because going back to the office was triggering. And I was like, that paycheck every 2 weeks, was that triggering too? Or what? So yeah, COVID was good. We liked the internet. I shared a post the other day. It was funny to me, but it was like if Google ever shuts down, like I only know like 6 things, maybe 7. It was like I only know 6 things, maybe 7. We love the power of researching, but are we putting in the work? You know what I'm saying? To like actually be these people who we say that we are. And it's hard.
I say the same thing about Grammarly. Ooh. I have Grammarly.
Oh, girl.
Or spelled.
Listen, that's nothing. Like if you want to scale it back, there are going to be a full-blown adults that cannot sign your name. Like these adults are going to be printing their names. Like,
is that right?
They don't teach cursive in the school.
No, I was just about to say that. Yes.
They're going to be printing Wait,
what? Wait, you mean to tell me it's people out here that don't know how to sign?
They stopped teaching it.
They're going to have to redo applications and say print name. Because they don't know how to sign names.
Just like the rotary phone. They don't know how to use that either. Lord have mercy on us, Jesus. Okay. Y'all, this has been fun. As always, with y'all two. Listen. Y'all two are always fun. So, Dr. Taj, you are talking about, I can't wait to. You and I are talking. We are talking about resilience and power. And we're going to talk about navigating trauma as a Black woman leader, which I'm loving. I'm loving this conversation you and I are going to have. What is one thing that you want the people in the audience to kind of walk away with from our session?
There are a few things, but I think the 2 things that sort of stand out that are most important is the fact that there's no cookie cutter way to do this, right? And I think it's important to understand that if you show up and are asked a question, and in the moment, you may not necessarily know the answer, but you're able to sort of follow up with the answer to show and prove. Because you have to show and prove. We're Black women. We're always going to have to show and prove. That's just what it is. That's just our reality. But then also be able to give yourself the space and the grace to be okay. Because it's going to be a learning curve. It's not impossible to do. We all have it in us to do. You just have to, give yourself that space and grace.
Oh, I love that. Space and grace. I don't think we do that enough, honestly, for ourselves. So I'm excited about our conversation. And our good old sis Tiff gonna hit the stage by herself because she got some stuff to show us with her. I love this title. Sexy self-care, y'all. Unleashing your inner hot girl CEO.
Yes.
not tips.
Nice.
Just give the people a little bit of what you want them to walk away from, because I'm gonna be like this on the front row.
Well, I want to say, like, first of all, this is my first time in Houston, and I am a part of the Beehive, and I love Meg, right? So I had to like kind of incorporate that, you know, pay tribute, pay homage, to some of the, I would say they're bosses, right, in their own field, and you are going to walk away with 4 ingredients, 4 keys, 4 tools that you need to be able to walk in your femininity and masculinity, because we have to have both,
Mhm.
so that you can have sexy self-care practices in your life, because you need that.
Yes. Like, yeah, you know, I shared about self-care. People think, so to some people maybe it is, but getting my nails and my hair done is not necessarily self-care to me. Again, I get PTSD because my hair is natural. So I got to get the hot comb. She got to get the hot comb. And, you know, that's self-care. I can't
Why
relax.
are you like this? Why are you okay? All right.
It's real. While they doing my feet, I'm looking to make sure they don't cut me, they don't nick me. I'm not relaxed.
It's not relaxing.
To me.
No, and
They're
I want to know if
necessary.
you're talking about me.
See, that's who you should ask why they are like this. This one right here.
Have y'all seen the there's a, I think it was, I don't know, it's one of those things. The translator pen. Somebody took it with them to the nail shop.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm buying one just because of that. I want to see if they talk about me.
Right.
I can be both. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
I'll turn
funny.
over.
Oh my
I'll flip a table. I'll flip a table. What?
I know I have a corn on that toe. Why are you talking about me?
You
Why are you telling everybody, the person over there doing somebody else's nail? What they got to do with my toe?
Right.
with you. Oh my God. I can't wait till y'all get here and I get to hang out with y'all in person in H-Town. Now, again, we don't know what the weather gonna be like, so just be prepared. We have monsoon, typhoon,
My blood pressure just shot up. Oh, my blood pressure.
Well, we had a tornado thing all day.
It's 2 degrees where you are at, Dr. Taj. Don't do that one.
Don't do that. We bumped it up to 68. We bumped it up to 68. We had 75 yesterday. So yeah. I'm just saying.
Okay, friend. Well, I can't wait to see y'all. I cannot wait to see y'all. Dr. Taj, tell people how they can get connected with you.
I can be found on accesswellness.com for my website, and Access Wellness on both Facebook and Instagram. My email's Tajma, TAJHMA @accesswellness.com.
Thank you. You ain't on that TikToker? You ain't on the TikTok?
No, I mean, I'm on TikTok to peruse, not for business. I just be going down rabbit holes.
It's my Google.
There's nothing on it. There's nothing on it. I'm literally on there just to see what the people are doing. Right now, I've gone down a BBL Drizzy rabbit hole. Just think.
You know what?
You asked,
no, ma'am.
You asked me about TikTok. You should have. I gave what you needed me to give. You asked about other stuff. Here we are.
See?
That you won't ask.
But she say it's me, Tiff. She say it's me.
Yeah.
I ain't playing with her. Tiff, how they can get connected with you?
So I can be reached on my website. I am TiffanyTaylor.com. Also on IG, Talk Your Ish Tiff.
Nice.
Every Monday, I am on the Kenny Burns Show as a mental health correspondent every Monday at 11, talking about everything from mind, body, and soul. They let me do a little bit sometimes about sex, you know, kind of. Yes, I throw it in there every now and then. So, but yes, and then email is hello@IamTiffanyTaylor.
Wait. Did you just do the little receptionist voice?
Yes. Hello.
I appreciate it. It's respectable. Listen.
At I am TiffanyTaylor.com.
Are you on the TikToker too?
TikTok is Google for me. So I'm on there as well to research.
See?
Search.
Yes, like I'm gonna put
Yeah,
where are the
y'all
best
mental health
places to
people
eat in Houston.
Yeah, y'all mental health people. I got the yeah.
Listen.
But it don't matter because we're gonna ball till we file next week.
Yes.
I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Yes. So thank y'all again for saying yes.
But of course,
thank you for having us.
Out like
yeah,
y'all kind of don't have a choice. Y'all kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, just saying, and we're cool with that. I'm speaking for Tiffany as well.
Yes, please. Oh wait, no, I'm triggered.
You wait, she's triggered time. Don't do that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Listen.
Yeah, I already know we gonna have some fun. We gonna have us some fun. But thank y'all again for joining us on tonight. Go get y'all tickets.
Yes.
For sure.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna sell out.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes.
So thanks again, ladies. Absolutely. Y'all have a good night.
Yes,
Alrighty.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.